everyone, my name is Chloe, and today I'm here to talk about my November TBR. So the sites have changed a little bit with this same carrier, a much larger baby, but she is napping, so I'm going to try to be a little bit quiet, but I have a hefty stack of books that I want to read in November, so let's just get into it. First, I'm going to start, so I'm going to be doing my November book haul revisit. I'm not sure how big that's going to be, and so this is a pile of possibilities, but I have a ton of nonfiction out from the library, and I also have some nonfiction that I've really been wanting to get to off my shelf. So this is going to be my nonfiction November TBR. So I'm going to start with the ones that I have digitally on from the library. So first is Hold On to Your Kids. And let me see, it says Why Parents Need to Matter More Than Peers. And I just think this is going to be a really interesting premise. And this says that this parenting classic on one of the most disturbing and misunderstood trends of our time, peers replacing parents in the lives of children, is now more relevant than ever. The latest edition includes new material on how social media and video game culture are affecting our children and what parents can do. So they are exploring the phenomenon of peer orientation, the troubling tendency of children and youth to look to their peers for direction, for a sense of right and wrong, for values, identity, and codes of behavior. But peer orientation undermines family cohesion, poisons the school atmosphere, and fosters an aggressively hostile and sexualized youth culture. So I'm not sure how much this will apply as homeschoolers, but I'm just really interested to see Hold On to Your Kids. It's been something I've been waiting for forever on the library, so I know there's holds everywhere, and it must be a popular classic, so I'm going to try it. Then, let's see, are there any more I only have digitally? Yes. Rhythms of Renewal by Rebecca Lyons. I don't have that one physically. So this one says, if you're ready to conquer stress and embrace the peace that your soul longs for, this Rhythms of Renewal is your new go-to guide to transforming your life one day at a time. Join Rebecca Lyons as she invites you to trade your anxiety for the vibrant life you were meant to live through 4 profound rhythms: rest, restore, connect, and create. So, I was reading something recently, I can't remember what it was, but talking about how necessary creativity is for some people. And I definitely think I'm one of those people, which is what YouTube really, it like scratches that itch for me. But I'm really interested to see anxiety. This is a book all about anxiety, and boy, can I relate. So otherwise, we have No Bad Parts by Richard Schwartz. So this is I think this is the book that discovering and empower a new way of understanding your multifaceted mind and healing the many parts that make you who you are. Is there just one you? We've been taught to believe we have a single identity and to feel fear or shame when we can't control the inner voices that don't match the ideal of who we think we should be. Yet Dr. Richard Schwartz's research now challenges this mono-mind theory. All of us are born with many sub-minds or parts, says Dr. Schwartz. These parts are not imaginary or symbolic. They're individuals who exist as an internal family within us. And the key to health and happiness is to honor, understand, and love every part. So this is the IFS model of like therapy, internal family systems. And I've heard crazy things, like crazy good things about this. So there's that. And I promise they're not all like self-helpy like this. Then we have... Okay, I've got that one. I've got some of these both digitally and physically. So the other ones I have from the library are Until the Streetlights Come On. And this is by the creator of 1,000 Hours Outside. It says how a return to play brightens our present and prepares kids for an uncertain future. So I think this is just the premise of, back in our day, they would say, go outside and come back when the street lights come on. And just how kind of things have changed and how play is so good for our kids. So there's that. And then we've got The Body Revelation. And this is physical and spiritual practices to metabolize pain, banish shame, and connect to God with your whole self. So I can't remember who I saw talking about this, but there's The Body Revelation, and then also another one that is like after this, maybe. I think it was Rainy from Rainy Day Reads. And so this just sounds really interesting. Do you sometimes feel as though your body is a problem to solve? Discover how to make it part of the solution instead. So it's about the mind-body connection and has faith woven in. So Rainy, if this was you, if you're watching this, let me know. But I think it was. Then we have whoa, goodness, they're sticking together. Strong as a Girl by Kate Rope. So she wrote Strong as a Mother, and I liked it, didn't love it. But this says, your guide to raising girls who know, stand up for, and take care of themselves. So I'm raising a lot of girls, and so hopefully this will help. This is kind of a chunker, so I will see if I can get it digitally also, but the margins are also really big. So this one, I love these kind of books. Then last for the library books is Awaking Wonder, Opening Your Child's Heart to the Beauty of Learning. So one of my sweet patrons, she is one of my favorite people. She read this. She is another homeschool mama, and she really liked this book and really recommended it. It's by Sally Clarkson, who is just one of the kind of like, she's a great author for all things homeschool, parenting, that kind of stuff. And so I am really excited to read this. So those are my library nonfiction. Now I have quite the shelf of nonfiction. I think I need to look back. Maybe last year I went through and like spotlighted everything on my nonfiction shelf, and I'm not going to do that again this year because I'm just not going to read it all. That may be a separate video. If I did that last year, I'll link it down below, but let me know if you're interested in seeing that. But I picked 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that I really am like really interested in. And I think these will all keep it interesting because they're all very different. So first we have through the Note Through the Wire, the incredible true story of a prisoner of war and a resistance heroine. So this is obviously a World War II nonfiction about two people set during World War II. This is an unforgettable and amazing love story inspired by the author's own family. So, yeah, there's that. And then we've got Love, Life, and Lucille, lessons learned from a centenarian. Forward by Suzanne Summers. So this says, Judy was so busy making a name for herself that she barely took the time to meet a stranger, enjoy life, or simply stop to breathe. Immersed in her job, a job that required her to write health and wellness books and host a nationally syndicated radio show, she spent every day going full speed ahead. That is until she met Lucille Fleming. While writing a book on longevity, Judy interviewed Lucille, an elegant and spirited woman who had just recently turned 100. What began as a quick meeting became a lasting friendship that transformed into an inseparable bond. Lucille brought incredible wisdom and great stories to the table, while Judy provided an avenue for excitement and new opportunities. Together, they began living life to the fullest, but then her life came to an end through unexpected and unfortunate circumstances. And so this is a thick one. This is a brick. Like, she is heavy. Only 375 pages, but I love that. I think we have so much to learn from those older than us, and I love like kind of a mentor relationship, especially with somebody who's 100. Like, just thinking of the things they've seen. This one will be interesting. Then we have this one. I've been waiting. My baby just turned a year old, and so I feel like I'm ready for it. And it is called A Midwife by Jennifer Worth. So this is a memoir of birth, joy, and hard times. So I love midwife stories. I could see myself watching this for sure. But I have had my last two births were rather traumatic, and really all of my births have had some things with it. But so I wanted to have some space from childbirth and pregnancy and all of that kind of stuff before I read this. So I think I'm ready. I think if you guys think this would be like hard to read, let me know. But yeah, I would love to read it and then maybe watch the show. Then we have another nonfiction, Crazy Love by Frances Chan. So this is an old one, but a good one about God's love for us and overwhelmed by a relentless God. So this is going to be a good one. If you guys have read this, let me know. I know almost everybody has. I'm shocked I haven't. In fact, I think I was in high school. Maybe I was not. I don't know. When a bunch of people I knew were doing this study, and no, 2013. So it must have been college or shortly thereafter. I don't know. But anyway, a bunch of people I knew were doing this. I didn't. And now here we are many, many moons later, and I'm going to read it. Maybe. Then we have Brighter by the Day by Robin Roberts. So Waking Up to New Hopes and Dreams. Guys, I got this as an ARC in March. Well, it came out in March of 2022. I love Robin Roberts. She was the host of Good Morning America. And this is just a tiny little thing. This will be quick and easy. And yeah, I'm excited to read it. Then we have 3 Weeks with My Brother by Nicholas Sparks and Micah Sparks, and Healing Journey that will remind readers to live life to the fullest. So again, it takes place in January 2003, and I would love to know more about Nicholas Sparks and his life personally. I don't know how much we get of that, but they set off on a 3-week trip around the globe, and so this will also fulfill like some wanderlust. In fact, I should read this soon because we are having a spell of like cold and rainy, and like going places is not that fun, so armchair travel here. Then we've got just a couple more, you guys. I think I'm in the mood. I don't know. I'm filming this October 26th, so maybe the mood will pass, but as of now I'm in the mood for Marley and Me. So I have read this book, I haven't read this book. I have seen this movie, and you guys, I have such bad puppy fever, and maybe the heartbreak of this will remind me one of the reasons why we don't have a dog right now. Maybe. I don't know. Like, I have been reading so many mediocre things lately that I want something that's going to make me feel something, and I know this will do that. And then last is one that's been sitting on my shelf for a little bit, and this is Love Mom, Inspiring Stories Celebrating Motherhood. So I feel like these kind of things are always so nice, and they have this on Spotify, so I can listen to it, and just all the different ways of being a mom and celebrating your mom, and just, I don't know. I love to think about / am terrified to think about what my kids will say about me when they're adults. And so hearing like adult perspectives, looking back on their mom, I feel like it helps shape the kind of mom I want to be. Like, when you think, I've heard a lot of like in therapy talks or friends that are very like with it, thinking about like, what is a good mom? What is a good mom in your head, and how can you take steps to be that good mom in your head? Like, like, what is your definition of a good mom, and how can you get to be there? And these kind of stories help me like formulate what kind of mom I want to be. Maybe I'm holding this too high of expectations, but yeah, that's it. So that's a lot of books. If I get to all those, and I'm not going to be able to, I think I did a good job off of my shelf of picking like random enough books that it won't feel like I'm reading the same genre over and over and over. But I'm probably going to have to intersperse some fiction in there. Maybe also, I don't know. There's a lot of self-helpy things, and a lot of ones that I'm going to have to read physically. So I don't know. Let me know if there's any of these that I should bump up, or anything that you're reading for Nonfiction November that I really should put on my radar, because you guys, I'm trying to read off my shelf, and yet the first like half were not on my shelf. So let me know what you think, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.